Hello and welcome to yet another edition of Executive Corner Expert Talk. My name is Monica, and today we spotlight Surefire Resources NL, an ASX listed mineral exploration company making significant progress in Western Australia's resource-rich regions. The company has kicked off drilling at its Yidby Gold Project and is gearing up for maiden project at the Phat Boy Copper prospect. Two projects with immense potential. We are joined by Surefire's Managing Director, Mr. Paul Burton, a seasoned mining expert with nearly 3 decades of experience. He's here to share insights about these key developments and the company's ambitious vision for the future. Thank you for being here with us, Mr. Burton. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
Thank you very much.
So let us start with an overview. Could you share with our viewers what Surefire Resources stands for and the strategic focus driving your projects right now?
Yeah, well, we're a West Australian-based explorer. All our projects are in Western Australia, and that's a strategy of ours to focus on the resource-rich areas of WA, as you mentioned. Our key projects are in the Midwest. We have a very exciting gold project, which is a gold-copper project now. Our flagship project is the Vanadium Titanium Iron project, and we also have a very large magnetite project, all very close to infrastructure, all the very, very strong assets for a junior explorer like ourselves.
Surefire has kicked off a drilling program at the Yidby Gold Project, which has already generated a lot of interest. Could you tell us more about this project and what makes it so exciting for your company?
Well, the Yidby project is surrounded by some multi-million ounce gold deposits. For example, Mount Gibson's Capricorn owned deposit is only 30 kilometres to the south of us in exactly the same greenstone belt. And Yidby itself was a discovery by Surefire. It's a blind deposit, it's undercover, and it's turning out to be a very, very interesting project. It's now extends for over 3 kilometres. We've had some very exciting high-grade gold intersects, and also we know that there's a strong structural control to the gold mineralisation that we've seen to date. We've also done some metallurgical work which shows that the gold can be recovered extremely well, which opens up the door for a relatively cheap operation for leaching of the gold. So we're very excited about the project, and the current program is actually designed to extend this now so that we can come up with a resource. As gold is very much in favour with the market prices at the moment, so this is one that we're sure will bring some added value to the company.
And speaking of this drilling program, what are your key objectives for this phase of exploration at Yidby? Also, what milestones are you aiming to achieve?
Yes, so we're extending the drilling that's been done to the south of the existing mineralisation. We're hoping that this will give us some very, very strong, it's very open to the south, so there's some very strong gold intersects. And I can tell you that we've intersected some very interesting geology already in that area. So it's a project that's emerging into being a very large project, I would say.
Mr. Burton, you've also recently received approval for maiden drilling at the Phat Boy Copper prospect, which sounds intriguing. Could you tell us more about this project and the opportunities it presents?
Yes, this Phat Boy prospect occurs to the east of our gold mineralisation in a very similar setting to the Golden Grove copper zinc volcanogenic massive hosted sulfide deposit. So we're very, very intrigued by the soil anomalies that we uncovered there. So these copper in soil ranging up to even 600 ppm basis extends over a 5 kilometre by 3 kilometre zone, very large zone, very similar to the Golden Grove setting, adjacent to abandoned iron formation in a volcanic sequence. We know we're in a greenstone belt, we know we've got volcanic rocks, and we know that they were submarine volcanic. So we have a very perfect setting for further discoveries of volcanogenic massive sulfide deposits in the area. Indeed, the Capricorn's Mount Gibson deposit is thought to be a volcanogenic massive sulfide deposit originally with a gold overprint. And that may be what we're seeing at Yidby as well. But we now have a very strong copper and zinc anomaly, anomalous zone that we identified 4 targets there, which will be the current focus of the next drilling phase.
So once the maiden drilling at Phat Boy is completed, what are the next steps? Because people like to talk about the future. How do you see this project evolving in the near term?
Well, we have to find a source for the highly anomalous results that we've got on the surface. So we expect to improve our understanding there. So I can think in that area, in that zone, there's potential for more than one style of mineralization. So that's what we'll be looking for, to advance that project into something very similar to Golden Grove. We haven't done geophysics there yet. That may be the next phase, but I'm hoping that we will also intersect some mineralization to give us an understanding of where this highly anomalous copper and zinc is coming from.
In addition to these exciting exploration projects, Surefire is advancing the Victory Bora Vanadium project, which is pivotal in critical minerals development. Could you also share an update on its progress and the role it plays in your portfolio?
Well, this is our major project. It's the one that's most advanced, and we've completed a pre-feasibility study on that, had very, very strong results, financial results, so $1.1 billion US dollars in the NPV, done at 10%, so very conservative, a 42% IRR. So that was completed in December last year, which gave us a very strong impetus to move this project forward. So this year we've been focusing on strategic alliances for the project, and today we announced that we've achieved a expression of interest from a very large group in Germany that ties in very much with our strategy for the area. Now, Europe, and Germany in particular, has announced that vanadium is very much a critical mineral on their list, and the idea is for us to be able to supply this valuable commodity to Germany for the future. So having a process plant in Saudi Arabia is also part of our strategic plan, and our discussions with the relevant agencies and companies involved for that process has also been ongoing this year. So I'm very excited about the prospects for this project, and it's starting to fall together very well. It's taken a bit longer than we anticipated, but these things always do. And having an expression of interest like this is but the first, I think, of many agreements that we'll start to see coming through for the project as we develop.
Sure, Mr. Burton. I was about to ask you about the recent announcement that you just mentioned about the expression of interest. And this really should be a positive news for the investors that will give them an idea about what Surefire is intending to deliver. So, Mr. Burton, with the growing global demand for critical minerals like vanadium and copper, how do you see this trend impacting Surefire's long-term strategy and position in the industry?
Yes, well, look, I think we're lucky because we have both of those commodities in our portfolio, and I think the outlook for vanadium is very positive. It's been very depressed for the last 18 or so months, and that's been really due to an oversupply. But I think we're now in a new cycle. All of these things are cyclical, so we're in a new cycle now for vanadium and the uses for vanadium in that whole sector. So we're seeing a lot more vanadium redox batteries being deployed now. So there's certainly going to be a growing demand for vanadium to source the electrolyte for those. Plus, the manufactured steel is still very much a user of vanadium, and we'll see that being used more and more in the steel. China came out with enforcing their rebar 3, which means they must have more vanadium actually into the steel to give it strength. So the outlook is good. For the general producers, what's important for those is to have their operating costs as low as possible. So our strategy of having our processing in a very low cost jurisdiction like the Middle East is very positive for this. We need to be energy efficient, and we need to have a very green focus on our production. So vanadium is a green critical mineral. It's one of these ones that's going to be very much utilized in all sorts of areas in the future. And I think we're taking the right approach in how we're going to actually develop those. With respect to the copper, look, it's open. I mean, I think it's a very big copper anomaly that we have, and I think the drilling is yet to tell us what actually we're going to be finding there. But copper is also very much in our portfolio, and we are always looking at other prospects as well for copper. But we're very pleased with what we've got, and we'll just continue to try and deliver on those projects.
It's fascinating to hear about the ambitious projects Surefire is undertaking and the role you're playing in the future of minerals exploration. Thank you, Mr. Burton, for joining us today and sharing these valuable insights. But just before I let you go, any final words or message for our audience, Mr. Burton?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say that this year has been a difficult year for all junior explorers, but we're very positive about the future. So we're continuing to do what we're good at, and we hope that there'll be some very strong news flow and reflected in our shareholder value in the future.
Sure, lovely. That's Mr. Burton, the MD of Surefire Resources NL. That's all for today's segment. In case you have missed any bit of this interview, you can certainly catch the full interview on our YouTube channel at Calkine Media and hear what he has to say about Surefire's recent advancements. Do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.